Just when I thought Netflix had lost their minds, when I found out that they're attempting to make a live action adaptation of One Piece, which is one of the longest running manga and anime with hundreds of remarkable characters and a massive world in which the story takes place in, only to find out that they're also doing it with Yu Yu Hakusho, which, compared to One Piece, it's actually doable. But then again, given Netflix's track record with these live action adaptations, I wouldn't get too excited. And I usually don't because I'm of the belief that anime and manga do not need live action adaptations to legitimize them. And I get the appeal of it. Like, I enjoy looking at some of the fan made mock up artwork. I even have some of it set as my desktop and tablet wallpapers. I understand that it would be fun to see some of our favorite stories in live action. But I also know that anime and manga are already great pieces of literature and art in and of themselves. I feel the same way with foreign films. Like, we really don't need Hollywood to remake them. Like, if you can't be bothered to read subtitles every now and then, maybe you don't deserve to enjoy that story. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for creative people being able to make money off of their work, but at the same time, I don't think it's too much to ask of people to expand their horizons and maybe slightly step out of their comfort zones to experience something different. It's kind of like trying out new different foods from different cultures. But if someone just wants to stick to eating hot dogs, then maybe we don't have to go out of our way to make hot dog friendly versions of all these awesome different foods just to please the hot dog eaters. And I really hope I'm not coming off as some hipster weeb by saying all this. If you enjoy these watered down, borderline bootleg versions of a masterpiece, hey, more power to you, man. I personally prefer the original thing. And I totally understand the reasoning behind these adaptations. IPs with built-in fan bases are easier to repackage and resell to some of these fans, as well as people who can't be bothered to watch something animated but would watch it if it was live action. I get that. Also, we are living in an era of streaming services that need to constantly put out content to justify their monthly price tags to their subscribers. There's a reason why it takes forever to find anything worth watching, because everything that used to be direct to DVD is clogging up the streaming services now. It's quantity over quality. And I wouldn't be as opposed to these adaptations if they were made with some sincerity towards the source material. If you absolutely have to make them, at least try to capture the magic of the original. But what do we always get? They always try to reimagine or repurpose these stories and characters, which in my opinion is pretty disrespectful towards the original. It's not always because of lack of budget or the ability of the folks making these, although those can definitely be factors behind it. It's because anime can never truly be translated to live action. The two mediums are vastly different, and live action can never capture the essence of animated storytelling, which is unique to that medium, especially these fantastical stories, which in my opinion are just better suited to animation. I think slice of life anime may be better suited for live action adaptation, but even then I would say just have enough respect for the anime and the people who put their hearts and souls into making it, and maybe try making something original instead. But regardless of how I feel, I'm very well aware of the fact that people will continue to make these live action adaptations because it's easy to sell a recognizable IP. But as long as we also get new anime, which Netflix is doing a pretty job of making, I really don't have a problem. I just get annoyed at people who think that making something live action makes it better. Maybe it will finally get the recognition it deserves or something stupid along those lines. Just because something isn't mainstream doesn't mean it's not good. Look at Squid Game. If it hadn't blown up on Western social media and just stayed in Korea, it would have still been just as good as it is now that the people in the West have seen it. Also, going mainstream isn't all it's cracked up to be. Look at Marvel. It was pretty good until all the wine-drinking ants and the khaki-wearing uncles who were addicted to Facebook got into it. Now every Marvel film and TV show has to have those funny quips or jokes every 5 minutes just to keep these aunts and uncles from tuning out, because they're not watching it because they like the source material or these characters. They're watching it because it's the popular thing to watch. Now back to talking about anime. I didn't even grow up on it like most anime fans. I only got into it a handful of years ago, which is a whole video in itself. But as someone who is a creative person myself, I don't like it when people try to fix or improve somebody else's creative work. Like I said, I got into anime as an adult and I still have some issues with some of the things in anime. Mainly fan service, which is just for the sake of fan service. But at the same time, if that's the original creator's intent to make it that way, then I am all for it. Like, I respect that and I wouldn't want to change it just because I think it's unnecessary to the story. But yeah, anime doesn't need live action adaptation. They're perfect just the way they are. But we'll continue to get them because it's easy money to remake and resell same IPs to the fans. Well, some of the fans. At least we're still getting new anime, unlike Western entertainment industry where we don't even get any new original stuff anymore. Only reboots and remakes. It's worse in comics because it's almost like an inbred family at this point, and you have to sift through multiple continuities to make sense of what's happening, which is not really worth the amount of effort it takes compared to the amount of entertainment value you get out of it. Well, that's it for this one. Let me know what are your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Please like and share the video, subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you armadillos in the next one.